camera is actually not in the right spot. Either that or I don't know. Let me double check the audio here on my computer, and then we'll get started soon. Feel free to jump in and say anything, and I'll try to respond as best as I can as I try to get through this initial hump of realizing I haven't done this in a while. Alright, so either my computer speakers are just shitty. Somebody out there tell me the audio quality if you are in the room. Alright. Oh yeah, special thanks to Wizard of the Hood for the headset. I really appreciate it. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the camera up to the bottom right-hand corner. Probably because that blocks less shit. We'll take a look at the user interface. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to have an open discussion. So I invite everybody to come in and talk. Because, I mean, Mass Effect Andromeda gives me another example of something that bothers me about current video games and science fiction as a whole. And I'd like to share my opinion, of course, but also all of yours. And here's my problem. I'm just going to go over it. I was introduced to Mass Effect as a series very late in the game. I would say right around 2011, I was going through a used video game store and movie store and CD store. Like it's called Disc Replay. I don't know if you have anything similar like that to where you guys come from. And I saw Mass Effect 2 for the PlayStation 3. And at that time, Mass Effect 1 was still Xbox exclusive and was not available. So I started the series at 2. And boy, was I blown away by the quality of the beginning, the story in its a whole, the character creation, all of that. And just the sheer world they created around it. I mean, the codex itself and the glossary, I read all that shit. I was so amazed at the new technologies they were bringing out. And just the concept of Mass Effect fields in general kind of blends the whole science fiction, fantasy, and then a little bit of reality, in my opinion. So, I mean, like, for instance, being able to change an element, and give you, like, sort of powers, instead of, like, just people just being, like, wizards and shit. It kind of blends the two. It's much better than I believe than the Force, as far as human biotics, biotic abilities, tech abilities, and things like that. I mean, it's all kind of, like, conceptual and, to me, seems like more grounded in reality than like something that could happen in the mass future. I mean, my only problem with all of that was that it happened a little bit too close to our modern future. Like I think it's only 100 years from now, or something along those lines. But I really just got into this storyline and the character development. And I hadn't played the first one. I still have yet to this day played the first one. But just immediately the way that they interact with each other and the whole spoiler alert killing off of Shepard at the beginning and then bringing him back to life kind of did a nice little twist. And that's the thing. From what I've read and over the years, that BioWare pitched this idea to have a completed story arc where you take your decisions from one game to the next, and then at the end of the trilogy, it's supposed to conclude. So why on earth am I seeing yet again another example of a game series that has been closed and a character's arc completed, and then using the title to create yet something else after the end? I mean, there's so many things wrong with this game, especially the fact of lack of purpose, and it's the beginning of another supposed series. But instead of spinning off Mass Effect, couldn't you have created this game to be called Pathfinder? I mean, as an original concept, have actually gotten maybe even forget some of the act that the game had. Point, using Mass Effect, a AAA title with good production value, and then releasing this fucking thing with all its problems, to me, loses something of the whole. It kind of like takes the series as a whole and kind of weakens it. When it was, I mean, granted, the ending of Mass Effect 3 was so controversial and what have you, but at the same exact time, I mean, it was a complete series. If you play the series as a whole, one game at a time, it's still a complete narrative. It's still exciting. I mean, but now you go to this and it's like everybody has problems. And that's the thing. It's like with the Star Trek reboot, with making 3 new Star Wars movies. I mean, is it necessary to take something that exists and keep adding to it? Or is it better to come up with something original? Like after Star Trek was killed as a series, Ronald Moore created a reimagined Battlestar Galactica. And that became a really popular show. A completely fresh idea, even based upon the original. I mean, it's nothing like the original series, except character names and what have you. But that's what I'm saying. Like, couldn't we just create an original concept, Let me give you an example, too. I mean, I'm 36 years old, so, like, I used to watch Babylon 5. That was also an arc created to, I don't know how to actually explain it, but there was like a beginning, middle, and end, kind of like Lord of the Rings. So they created another season after the story concluded many years later, and it didn't fit anymore in the universe. And that's the thing. It's like, could we be better off served as fans of the medium if we were given an original idea instead of a sequel / reboot / spin-off? And that's the thing that I'm going to go through while we play this game. The differences between Mass Effect, Andromeda, and the rest of the series. Things I don't like, things I may like as far as originality is concerned. And as we go through character creation and our version of Ryder, I'm, depending upon how many viewers I get, I would actually probably open the forum to decision making as far as conversations go, depending upon how many people I get. So again, let's just discuss, is it better to reboot a series that already exists in a science fiction world that already exists, using the existing technologies and world creation? Or is it better to start fresh with the idea of the spin-off, but making it completely different, original? Is it true that maybe we are, as a whole, in a sequel-ridden dump, when really all we're really looking for is something fresh and original? I mean, there have been 5 Uncharted games, 4 Mass Effects, God knows how many Assassin's Creeds at this point. Call of Duty, Battlefield. I mean, it's like you go so far into the future and then end up back in the past. Like Battlefield and Call of Duty, in 2017, both went backwards in time because they ran out of ideas. Destiny 2 is way weaker than Destiny 1 was, which I did not think is even possible, but I have no desire to play that game as well. When I created this channel 2 years ago, what I originally intended it to be was just a forum that people could discuss a video game while a video game is being played. Not so much a review format, not so much a, oh wow, I'm such an uber gamer, I'm so good, headshot compilations, shit like that. It was really just a way to broadcast what it would be like to have a bunch of friends over talking about something over drinks or whatever. And, I believe that when I was playing Destiny, that's what it was for a while, especially multiplayer, when I had my party and we were bouncing ideas off each other and things like that. And, a couple years later, I kind of disappeared. But I still want that to be a thing. One of the things I always remember about working retail when I was younger was we would just get together and talk about video games and all these different debates, and sometimes we would insult each other or whatever it may be. You know, I always felt like, what if that conversation grew bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger? Like, what would that be like? You know, like, seriously, you know? And now here's the opportunity for all my friends who used to work with me, for all my friends that have Facebook now. Come and join. Let's have those classic discussions again. Maybe that's me going through a midlife crisis at 36 that wants to bring back the old days. But I open up an invitation to all of you to join me today, and let's have one of those classic conversations that we always go back to, or nostalgia as part of our past, and let's share it in the public forum, and let's open it up to more people's opinions. Maybe, you know, we'll get some trolls, maybe we'll have to defend ourselves and our opinions, but as I close out this first video and then start the Let's Play with the next, tell me if this is even a good idea or not. I'm going to share this on Facebook, and I'm going to share this hopefully on YouTube if I can figure out how to get it to work. Thank you for your time, and I'll be restarting the stream momentarily.